Okay, I think we're live on all counts. I think we are here. I think we are ready to go. But before we get into tonight's topic, we have to address issues that has come to my attention. That my Discord is being used, weaponized, if you will, in President Sunday's personal beefs with 𝕵𝖎𝖙. I don't care what President Sunday says about 𝕵𝖎𝖙. For real. But making a recording of my Discord chat, my general chat to be clear, and including a ton of my Discord members who don't want to be content, who have no desire to be on a public stage at all. In your stuff, that's not okay. Take it down. Can someone check? Can someone please check if he has removed it? Johnson, can you check the Twitters? Check the Twitters for me. See if he removed it. Please do. It'd be helpful. Smeth will be here in about 5 minutes, I assume. But let's take care of this first. First and foremost, before we do anything else, get this done. While we're waiting on confirmation, just a little bit of explanation of why I take this hard stand. People aren't content 24/7. They're not designed to be. We're not supposed to be content 24/7. If you come to my Discord and then you join my channel and you come on my show, then you're content. If you're on my show, if you're live on air, if I pull you into the pit, you're content. You're going to be recorded. You're going to be made clips of. But you know this signing up, right? I'm very clear with everyone. If you come on my show, you are content to one extent or another, right? You are what you say, canon will be held against you, right? Like what you say, we will pick apart. What you say will be recorded, clipped, screen grabbed, everything. All the expressions you make, anything you're wearing at the time, it's all public. All of it. And while yes, my Discord in general is quote unquote public, it is not a stage. It is not something people go expecting to be recorded in any sense of the word. And again, when you make a recording of either my voice chat or of my general chat, where you just make a recording going over every single person who chats it over a period of time, that's a problem. I asked President Sunday to take it down. He has not. Mods, execute Order 66. Do it. Just don't break the rules, gang. It's easy. I don't care what you think of other people. If you got beef, you got beef. That's cool. You can use clips from my show. That's fine. You can use things I say. That's fine. Don't make my community into content without their permission. That's simple. I don't think that's unreasonable. Is that an unreasonable ask? I asked him to take it down. He did not take it down. This was. It is what it is. Thank you, Tenflix, for the The successful execution of Order 66. Yeah. I mean, look. Yes, Firechild, for those who don't know. He put up a video on Twitter of him going through my general chat, and recording what everyone was saying, regarding 𝕵𝖎𝖎. There was a night where 𝕵𝖎𝖎 was in my general chat. A bunch of Sunday and a bunch of his community came over to argue with her. Okay. But there are a lot of other people in my community who, again, in my general chat, were just chatting. They were just talking. And he included all of that in this video. Okay? He included all of that in this video. They're not on stage. I don't want that expectation in my community, right? I want look, at the end of the day, it's not illegal what he did. It's not against TOS. But I did the same thing when people from 𝕾𝖍𝖙𝖘𝖍𝖔𝖜's community recorded conversations with 𝕾𝖍 in my Discord. That's against the rules. I banned them. It's just a thing. Huh. It's a reasonable expectation of not being content. That's all. Was I saying naughty things? I don't even think I was in it, to be honest. I don't think anyone. No, that's the opposite in pursuit of knowledge of this disclaimer we're putting. We're putting don't record shit in my Discord. That's the line we're drawing in the sand. If you record shit in my Discord and you post it publicly, there will be consequences. That's it. Simple. Easy. I gave him the courtesy of asking him first. Like, hey, fix the problem, and then we won't have a problem. Easy stuff, right? Oh, Smeth is DMing me. Oh, what did you say, Firechild? Why did you get blocked? Oh, the consequence? I just banned him for a week. If he continues, like if he comes back and he continues to record, I'll ban him for longer. Well, timed out for a week to be. Is there a difference between ban and type out? I don't actually know if there's a difference between ban and timeout. I don't know which is the thing. Like I honestly don't know. So yeah, it is what it is. 𝕵𝖎𝖎𝖙𝖘𝖍𝖔𝖜. Yes, President Sunday made a recording of my general chat and posted it on Twitter. So that's uncool, bro. Okay, let's bring in Smeth. Smeth, what's up?
What's up? What's up? Here's my.
Hey, Pxie. Sorry, we had a distraction. I had to deal with some Sunday stuff, but we'll get to the Pxie stuff. Don't worry.
President Sunday or the day of the week Sunday?
President Sunday. He made a recording of my Discord and put it on Twitter. I asked him to take it down. He did not take it down. So
he's a he's a maniac.
You laugh when you say that, so I don't know how serious you are.
No, I mean he's incredibly. He's predictably conniving, but it's almost like he's not like boy energy.
Boy
There's something
energy?
very likable.
What is that?
Like very playful. There's something very playful about him. I don't know. It's hard. I don't know. It's something. He's
I don't know what you mean, but okay.
He's like the charm of like a boy on a schoolyard, like chasing like the girls around, going like ah.
I don't know if I don't know if I agree with that. I think that look, I'll be real with you. Sunday can be funny, affable, charming, interesting, smart, intelligent, but he's stubborn as a mule, and he is petty in a way that I think it's funny because a lot of the problems I have with Destiny are evident in Sunday. They are very similar in their petty behaviors on times. So what it is. Like, so yeah, I don't thank you for the raid. But anyway, sorry for this distraction. I just needed to deal with it. I didn't mean to put a rein on our conversation. How's, how's life?
Good, good. How do I fucking never mind. Anyway,
You okay? You good?
how do I get my I forgot how to get my my icon off of the side of the Discord thing here. So
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see any icons on my.
yeah, I'm showing my own camera, so like it's got my camera in the corner of yours, and this is whatever. It's not really a big deal. Okay, I'm ready. You want to
Okay.
talk about Pxie?
I do. Well, I want to talk about your take. Right? I want to talk about your take. Pxie made a tweet. Do you remember the tweet?
Um, not off the top of my head,
Okay,
no.
well, I do. So
Okay.
basically, she listed several attributes that she wanted in a partner, a potential partner. Um, got to be 5'8" or over. Uh, has to have at least one passion. They were pretty reasonable. It wasn't like that. He's got to be over 6 feet, makes over six figures. Wasn't any of
Mhm.
those. It was just pretty reasonable. Pretty reasonable. A list of things she wanted, and at the end she said, "And these are all negotiable if you're funny enough." And she made this a public tweet, and she also said, "I'm serious. If anyone meets these qualifications, DM me." Pretty reasonable. You had a take though about this. You didn't like it. Can you do you remember what you said about this?
Yeah. Why don't we find the tweet? Um,
I mean, you made it. Go for it.
no, her tweet too.
Oh, Portland says I believe it was 5'7". Yeah, sorry I'm a little distracted. I just had to deal with the President's Sunday stuff and that threw
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
But yeah, take your time, man. It's not like we're live. It's not like everyone's watching and waiting. No pressure or
I'm
nothing.
just gonna get the
Get
Twitter,
the Twitter.
Twitter,
Get the
and
Twitter out.
yeah.
Make sure that I'm not
Okay. I don't. Okay.
misrepresenting.
I don't think that it's a good idea to use your fans like a dating app.
Do you think that's what she was doing?
Yeah. But I don't. I look. I there's only like I can. I'm a pretty. I have a good imagination. I can imagine anyone being abusive if I'm creative enough. But like only 20 neurons in my brain can imagine Pxie as like an abusive person. I think she's very naive, and I don't think she's trying to be
Yeah,
like
but intent.
manipulative.
Yeah, but what
I
you
just
said was, and get the tweet up so we can read it. But if I recall
sure.
correctly, what you said was this is super toxic and parasocial, and this is going to do harm. That was kind of as I read it,
Yes, yes.
the summary of what your thoughts were on this. So regardless of whether you believe that she was purposely trying to cause harm, whether she was purposely doing any of this, you again publicly accuse this person, right, of being toxic, of
Mhm.
being a kind of a predator or behaving in a predatory
No,
manner, right?
no.
No, how is that not predatory behavior?
Because predatory implies intent, and I'm not saying intent. I'm saying that her behavior is harmful to both herself and others. That's what I think.
Fair enough. That's a fair correction. Can you tell me how her making this tweet specifically, right, harms
Mhm.
others and how it harms her, in your opinion, please?
Hold on, I just got the tweet. All right,
Okay,
let's
read
go
it for the
here. Let's
class.
go. Yeah, I'm gonna pop it up on my stream. Okay. So it says, telling male fans to compete for you and holding them to a list of standards publicly is very toxic. It sets up any relationship to fail, and it selects for Machiavellian narcissists and creates desperate parasocial fans with no self-respect.
Do you stand by that?
More or less.
Okay, I'm going to ask you again. You said that this is going to harm her and going to harm her fans, her community, other people.
Yes.
Can you tell me
Yes.
how?
Hold on. I'm just okay. Okay. I think that gotta get her tweet. I gotta get her tweet. We have to look at the tweets. Okay.
Okay, I mean
Where
we
did it
can,
go?
but
Where did it go?
it's literally just a list of attributes, and she's saying, "Hey, I'm being serious.
Right.
If you fit these, DM me."
Yes. Okay. And I got it. Here it is. So her tweet, she retweeted her own tweet. Said, "I'm not even joking. If you fit these qualifications, send me a DM with a selfie and a few sentences about yourself." And the tweet that she's retweeting is, "Okay, you guys, literally asked for it. My ideal type: uh, passionate about at least one thing, snarky personality type, willing to do silly things with me, 5'7" or taller, good at math, very organized, reminds you of Johnny Milani or Huey from The Boys, scrawny to fit build, dark hair."
What a
And I
monster!
think
Oh
there's
my
some,
god, this is terrible. How dare she? Right?
yeah. Um, I think that she's desperate, but I think that it's okay. So I think that if you do this, what you're setting up is now a relationship with your fans and your community where like anybody that does boyfriend applications does this where now your fans see you as a potential partner, and so now like it's the most like extreme possible form of parasocial bonding that you could possibly do with your fans, so to set them up to be looking at you as somebody that they can get there. Oh, if I just impress her enough, then I can date her. I just need to like prove to her like that I'm good dating material, and it sets up your fans to see you in that way, and that's both bad for you and bad for your fans, especially bad for you if you don't know, like if you're doing it on purpose to take advantage of them, it won't be as bad for you, but if you don't realize what's happening, then you're changing the relationship with you and your community to one where they are now like the boundaries are now being broken down, and they don't see you in the same way. They see you in a way like where they can cross into your world.
This is I I I get what you're trying to say. I do understand what you're trying to imply. I just fundamentally disagree with the premise as a whole. I think it's perfectly okay for someone who is feeling lonely, who is like, man, I wish I had someone to be with romantically, to reach out to the people in their life and say, hey, I'm interested. If someone meets these criterias, please contact me. We could set something up maybe.
Mhm.
I think that these potential pitfalls that you're outlining are one, worst case scenario, and two, just highly like I think it's worse that you would discourage someone from reaching out to those around them when they are lonely, than it is for a person who is a streamer or a public figure to say publicly, hey, this is what I'd like. If you meet this, then it is a potential thing. I don't Do you think Pxie's lying about this? Do you think that she would like reject people? Like, do you think this is a trick to drive engagement?
I doubt it. It could be. It'll work for that, but I don't think so. We've already gone over that. Um, I think that the people around you, which like you're saying, reaching out to people around you, that's something you can do. Um, you don't want to do it with like your family members. Usually, I mean, maybe
Well,
if you're a Thorpe,
yeah, you don't want to
but
date your
yeah, but
family. Brave
right, but
take, got you. Continue.
Yeah, but like, so like there's at least like some people that you don't want to do that with, and I believe that your fans are part of the group of people you don't want to do that with. Just like maybe your students, or like if you were to, let's say that you are Johnny Depp and you go up on stage. So I saw Johnny Depp. What he played with Jeff Beck before Jeff Beck died, and afterwards when we were walking to the car, there's like a horde of like young 20-year-old women like mobbing where his limo is going to come out because they want him to like pick them up, and that I think is really unhealthy. Like it sets you up to be a predator, and if you're
Certainly.
desperate,
But you're
and it so like
go on,
it's
finish.
it's so I think that there is inherently a power imbalance where fans see you as like a great, like they have an elevated idea of you, and you have a leg up on any relationship. Um,
Do you think,
so
if I may ask, oh, unless you're not done, finish.
that's pretty. That's done with that thought.
Okay. Um, do you think that Johnny Depp being pounded in like hordes of women swarming his car as he pulls off is analogous or the same as Pxie making a
No.
tweet on Twitter? Do you think that these are any in any way, shape, or form similar? Do you think that Pxie was tweeting to her fan base?
Yes, of course, she was absolutely tweeting to her fan base. But that's like her Twitter. Like, yeah, I do think I don't see how you could think anything otherwise.
Because if you wanted to
Uh,
just do it to your fan base, there are ways to make your post followers only. There's ways to make your posts in your circle only. I think they're getting rid of that later. But for now, there are
but she
ways to
didn't do
make
that.
it to
It was
just her
public.
fans. But she didn't do it to
No,
just her fans. She did it in
no, like
public.
when you talk to your fans, you don't like the idea you're implying where you speak to your fans and it's a private thing. That's the opposite of what you do with fans. When you're talking to your fans, it's always public. So she made a public like announcement to her fans. Like there is no, why would anybody make a private circle, except if you're like Brittany
Okay.
Simon and you've got like a special situation where people pay to be part of some circle or something. Like there that doesn't happen. You
If
speak to your fans publicly.
if a public figure goes on a public platform, say they go on Dr. Phil or a 60 Minutes
Wait, I didn't get to
interview.
fully answer your question.
Oh,
What's the difference between her and Johnny Depp? Johnny Depp, obviously, like he has way more responsibility than Pixie. What she's doing is nowhere near as bad as is Johnny Depp doing that. But also, what she's doing is also worse than Johnny Depp because Johnny Depp is not giving out a tweet saying, "Hey, if you have blonde hair, blue eyes, and you weigh this much, and you can make me laugh about this kind of thing, hit me up with a picture of yourself, and maybe we'll get this rolling because I'm lonely." Like, if we did that, that would be unacceptable. It would we
would it?
wouldn't that like I think so.
I disagree. I think again, a public figure going on a public platform and saying, "Hey, I'm lonely. If anyone would like to, if anyone fits my criteria, I'm single and I'm ready to mingle." I don't think that's. I think it's odd to me, and this is why I called you weird for this, and I stand by that. I think it's weird that anyone thinks that's a problem of a person doing that. I think that that's just a natural thing. I think we want to, if anything, encourage people to reach out when they're lonely more. What I see all the time is people being scared to approach anyone else because they're going to think they're doing something wrong by approaching them. Like I know
Mhm.
plenty of men who will not approach women in almost any circumstances because they worry what they're doing is somehow wrong, that it's wrong to go up to a woman at a grocery store and say, "Hey, I think you're neat," um and start a conversation. I think that we have stigmatized that much too much, and I fear and I worry and I think that what you're doing with what Pixie is doing is in a similar vein. You're trying to stigmatize someone who's just lonely, who has no ill intentions from reaching out, who is going to do no harm, right? I again,
No.
can you tell me what is the harm that is going to be done to her
Okay.
community? How will they
So
be hurt?
so they will be hurt because now they're going to, so for all the people that reach out and they are like turned down, that is a form of harm, but also now their relationship to her is dramatically changed where they are going to, like, so being parasocially attached like that is not good. So like say let's say that I get like a crush on you because you tell me that I could potentially date you, and I'm like I meet those things. Wick is like, I've always thought Wick is so attractive,
I
and
am, but go on.
so like then every time I'm watching you, like now I'm gonna watch you more. I'm gonna like, oh, Wick likes Pokemon. Oh man, I like Pokemon. I need to Wick. I like Pokemon, and like that's like like to get that reaction from your fan is like awful. And also, I think that, like I said in the tweet, I think that it enables like Machiavellian types, like to like, especially if you're giving people a list of things, it encourages people to try to like it opens her up to being taken advantage of. And but I'm not against reaching out. I think that there's fundamentally a different thing between like, oh, publicly to your fans doing this and reaching out to people. Like I don't think it's bad inherently to date fans. Like I think you can do it ethically, but I don't think I think you have to do it like publicly. Yeah, like you it would have to be private, and they can't be a super fan. If they're a super fan, the power imbalance between their perception of you and your perception of them is so drastically different that I don't think you can ethically date them unless somehow they stop being a super fan.
Hey,
But
yeah, go on.
if they just like your content, like, then you can that's probably fine.
I'm
But
really
it
trying to
can't be.
untwist this pretzel. I feel, and I'm being genuine when I legitimately do not understand the problem with someone really, really liking you, right? Gang, if you're out there, find a person who thinks the sun shines out of your ass. That's gonna be a good relationship. You want that kind of relationship.
For you. Yes,
Um,
for you, but not for them.
what?
So to date somebody that like thinks that you're a god is going to be great for you. It's not going to be great for them.
Why not? Especially if you return the favor.
And you think that they're a god?
Again, that's hyperbolic.
They're not fans. She's not fans of her
Again,
fans. Her
Pxie.
fans are fans of her.
Well, that's not true. I like my community.
Yeah, but
I'm
you
fans of
don't
it.
follow, you don't watch, you don't like,
What are you talking
you
about? I
don't
watch community members
they
all the
don't
time.
make they don't make content that you watch, that no, they're just, you only care about them because they're your fans. You've bonded over you. The
And once
bonded with your
again,
fans over is you. So if the thing that you're bonding with a partner over is how great you are, that is a toxic, like, parasocial beginning to a relationship. The first thing we're going to talk about is how much we both agree that I'm awesome. That is not a good start.
that's not what she's doing though. That's not what Pixie's
But a
doing.
fan, that's what fans are. That's what fans, that is the
That
relationship
is
between a
one way
fan.
you can engage with this content for certain. And I don't know Pixie that well, but I can imagine if someone came off as a super fan, it would probably be off-putting. It's off-putting to me when someone off the jump starts talking about how great and awesome I am. I get suspicious that, oh, this person's taking me for a ride, right? That's my suspicion. It's not always true. Some people are just really nice, but it is what it is. But what Pixie is like doing here is saying, "Hey, I want someone in my life that likes me and I want to like them. Here's a list. I'm going to go on the most public platform I possibly can and say it to as most people as I possibly can, and hopefully someone hits me up that I mesh with." I think that's just wise, and I don't see any harm that doesn't exist outside of just dating in general, right? There's always a possibility you're going to be with someone who's weird or abusive, but I don't think that her making this public and giving herself more options in any way makes that more likely. And in fact, I think it would be giving her more of a selection makes it less likely. Also, I don't think it's inherently harmful if someone approaches, if someone approaches you and then makes a move and then you turn them down, that doesn't hurt them.
Okay. Um, okay, let's go. Okay, the thing that we are grappling here is you're saying basically there's no difference between fans and anybody else. There's literally no difference. You're just dismissing that. So we need to go point by point here.
Okay.
So let's talk about the parasocial, like, so it's how you like so if you do that with your fans, you've fundamentally changed the relationship between you and your fans. Now they see you as a potential person that they can date, and that they are allowed to like hit on and try to reach out to date. So do you have any disagreement with that? Do you think that that's
No,
good?
she is explicitly inviting people to come and
Right.
reach out. Yeah.
Right. Right. She's
Hmm.
broken that
To
boundary.
everyone, not just her fans. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's okay.
Yeah. Why would it
So
not
so
be?
y- so so okay. I think you're ignoring the thing I'm asking about. I'm
Okay.
asking about
Well, ask it in another way
having
because I'm not getting it.
having your fans see you as someone that they can like. So if the people watching you right now think that they can message you and then date you, and they know what you like, and they want to fit what you like because they like you so much. I want to be the perfect, because I love Wick. I want to be the perfect partner for Wick. Do you think that that's a healthy relationship for someone to have with their fans?
I don't think the person who's behaving in that way is behaving in a healthy way. No, I don't think that's true. But
Okay.
I don't think that Pixie, um, doing what she did made that more or less likely. I think that the
I think she
person who
did.
is going to do that is going to do that regardless of what Pixie wants, to be clear. Um,
No, because she's literally expressly told them that they can do it. And she even gave them a list of things that she is into, so they can, so now people can compare themselves to that and try to fit. Like, so if you had a crush on her, there's a lot of celebrities I have a crush on. Celebrities
yeah.
don't don't post that. Oh, all the qualities. These are all the qualities that I like, and if you match these, hit me up. Um, that if they were to do that, now I would be comparing myself to those things. Wait, do I fit those things? Like, so it's like just having a crush on a creator is not the same as having a crush on a creator and thinking that you could have a chance with them, and having this hope. Like, and now in all of their like fans that see that, they want to reach out to her, they have created this fantasy where they're like married to her, or they're having sex with her, or they're dating her, and they think that this is achievable. And they have, it's like now instead of it being watching an entertainment thing, it's like buying a lottery ticket to like get your wish come true. And she's very attractive. I'm sure that there are a lot of people that
Do you
have
think?
crushes on her. I don't know if that's like
Let
weird to
me
say, but like
sure.
that's true.
Let me try it this way. Let me try it this way. Do you think it's toxic or manipulative or wrong or whatever for a woman to post on Tinder or a dating app selfies and a list of qualities she wants in a mate? I think that's
Yeah.
inherently bad.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So if Pixie did this on Tinder, if she went on Tinder and put some thirst straps out there and said made basically the same statement in her bio. Hey, here's the list of stuff I want. If you meet this, swipe right, which I don't know. I don't use Twitter. Like whichever way you swipe to accept and hit me up. Do you think that would be predatory or wrong or gross or anything like that?
No, I don't think using dating
But
apps
her
is
fans could
wrong.
be on dating apps.
Okay, that'd be fine.
Well, I just don't understand the fundamental difference of why her doing it on Twitter instead of Tinder makes it parasocial and wrong. Can you walk me through
Okay.
that?
So okay. So so somebody who happens to know your content, and they see you on Tinder, and they swipe right on you and you swipe right on them, they got there was no they there's you can assess them or whatever, and to try to make it work out, whatever. I don't know. That's fine. The difference is if you publicly tell all of your fans, because you're saying this on Twitter, she's telling this to all of her fans, that like it's like sending out your it's sending out your dating app to everybody. That happening on Tinder is a private thing. It being a public thing, like a private thing, does not change the relationship between you and all of your fans. It changes the relationship between you and one fan. Like and like one fan who you're actively like
What
interested
if
in or
what if she
trying
put a
try
link to
or
Tinder?
considering.
What if she put a link to her Tinder on her social page, right? Like on her Twitter bio or her link tree or whatever, and she
Yeah,
had a
that's
link to
bad.
her Tinder. That's bad? Wrong?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Tinder would work that way, I don't think, but maybe
Or
it
a
does.
dating, I don't, it doesn't have to be
OkCupid,
Tinder, right? It could be any
yeah,
dating site. I don't know.
um, yeah, yeah, you shouldn't do that with your fans. I think that's, like, literally the same as
But
that would be
okay,
equal.
it's this is the thing. Acting, and this is where I think that you're missing it. That you think that everyone who sees that tweet on Twitter are her fans. I just fundamentally disagree.
Not everyone,
And not
but, like,
everyone who even follows her are her fans. I know for me,
sure.
for my things, I would give it 50-50. My hate followers versus people who follow me because they like me. I think it's probably 50-50. I'm not sure, right? I haven't
But I mean,
like sussed it
that
out.
makes it worse. That makes it worse because now, like, it's not only that she's broadcasted it to her fans, also her hate followers. So that increases the risk for her. But what are you saying? Are you saying that it would be fundamentally? It increases the risk if you send out your dating application to people who hate you and want to hurt you. Okay, that puts you at risk of trying to take advantage of you.
It's
But like,
not in any
are
fundamental
you
way that's
saying?
different than having a public persona in general. Like being on a
No,
dating app in
no,
general
having a public persona
puts you at risk,
having
I
a public
guess.
persona is not sending out a dating app a boyfriend application. Like, are you saying that there is a difference between
Look,
like so her saying it
I
her
I can
posting it on Twitter?
I can imagine a way which this is predatory, right? And I'll give you a scenario where I think it would be predatory. If she's like, "Hey, if you're a tier 3 sub, you have a chance to get with me." So my tier 3 subs, I know the people I know who really already support me for me. If you were to fill out this application or meet these criterias and then DM me, then I'll consider you, right? I think that is predatory because you are basically charging money for access, if you will. It's pay to play, if you will. But her simply doing this in public, which you seem to find as a way to increase risk, I don't think it does to any appreciable degree. And I think that, like, again, it's inherently not predatory. I think it's inherently fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Now, do I think it's the wisest way to look for a mate? Probably not, right? Like, but I mean, you're casting your net wide, and that's
I
okay,
never
right?
said it was predatory because if it was predatory, it'd be she was trying to take
Or
advantage of them.
parasocial or
But I don't
manipulative or any of these other words that mean the exact, like, they mean
no
very similar
manipulative.
things.
No, no, not very similar because in predatory, manipulative imply intent. If it is manipulative, it's not intentionally. There's a power imbalance between a person and their fans, like so a public figure and their fans. There's a power imbalance. They see you as something greater than you see them. So that are do you okay? I was about to ask you. So you were saying like, oh, of course, there are people that aren't your fans that follow you on Twitter. Oh, well, wow. But like that.
Sure.
So like you are a public figure when you post on Twitter. You are saying it to your fans. All
Saying
your
it to
fans follow your
everyone,
Twitter.
as many
Yeah,
people
but
as
not
you
maybe not.
can.
I'm trying. Maybe not all your fans follow your Twitter, but you are saying this to your fans, potential new fans, to your haters, and any random other riffraff that are following. But purpose of having a platform, a public platform as a public figure, is to speak to your fans and to speak to the public who may be potential fans or your haters. That is the reason that
Yes,
you have a public. So is there a difference? So you're saying that because that not all the people that follow you on Twitter are somehow different, and if she were to do this like on a stream, like then theoretically all of her fans are watching. Maybe the people watching your stream right now aren't your fans. Maybe they're your haters. Maybe
they
your
are.
family members.
I see several haters in chat right now. You know who you are, chat.
Sure. Okay. So then, like, it's impossible to me to say that anybody's ever speaking to their fans because not there's no point in time ever when you're actually
No,
only talking to your
I
fans. Well, I
gave you
don't
a
understand that point.
scenario. I gave you a scenario where she would be talking to her financial supporters and encouraging others to become financial supporters in order to gain access to her in a way that I think would be icky, right? Parasocially
Okay.
wrong. But she is, again, not doing it. She is simply on a public platform making a public statement that she wants intentionally as many people to see as possible so that she can
So
get
you're
as
saying
many applications as possible so she has many options as possible. That's not wrong. That's just casting your
okay.
net wide and something people
Actually,
have done
like you're
for all the time.
you're fundamentally lying,
I'm
or or or
lying,
or or
please.
or confusing the facts. Yes, when you say that,
Okay.
because if she wanted if she wanted this application to apply to any random person that doesn't know who she is, then she would have included details about herself and maybe a photo of herself or something. But that's not the case because there's an assumption baked in that the people that are seeing the tweet already know what she looks like and they know who she is.
Did
So
she change
that
her profile
fact
picture? Profile picture
that
is
fact
her, right? Am I wrong?
okay, she's got a profile picture. Okay, but like she's not giving any information about herself. You're having a profile picture
Like
that
Tinder, you
that's
don't tell everyone all about you, right? Like you just say, "Hey, this is what I look like. This is what
no.
I want. Swipe right or left." Cool,
Okay,
cool.
so she says this is what these are the properties. These are the like I like people that are passionate about things. Like all these they look like this. They're this height. But she gives none of that information about herself because there's an assumption that you already know something about her because she's a public figure and that's why you're fucking following her account. Like this point, we can't get past like the fact that speaking like making a tweet on Twitter is talking to your fans because other people also follow your Twitter is insane to me. The fact that you're thinking that you're only talking to your fans if you're doing some specific thing out to people who pay for you to like have a specific communication with a circle of people who pay to you is the only time anybody's ever talking to their fans is bullshit. When you post on Twitter, you are talking to your
If
fans.
I made
When you make
a
posts, you make posts announcing your streams and stuff. You're not doing that. You're doing that to people to watch your stream as a public figure.
again, right? It's not you are saying that this is specifically targeted, or at least you're implying. You may not be saying this or intending to say this, but what you're implying is that she is specifically targeting people in her fan base and creating, or intentionally or not, this parasocial dynamic that is unhealthy. And I am saying
Mm-hmm.
that this way of thinking is fundamentally flawed because her simply announcing that she is single does not change the dynamic for 99% of these people, right? The people who were going to
That's
hit
where
on
we
her
disagree.
are gonna hit on her, right? I think that
That's where
like
we disagree.
yeah, well, that's one of the ways we disagree. There's a couple. The other
Okay.
thing, right, is that her not putting out all this information about her, we don't do that when we meet people. If I go off on someone on the street, like part of dating is actually getting to know someone. I don't date after I know them, right? I date them as
That's,
I get to know them. And so
that's not my
saying,
point.
"Hey, this is what I want. Here's what I look like." That's really all the information you need to give. And you say, "If you want to date me, we can get to know each other." Cool, cool.
No, that's not what happened. She didn't say, "This is what I want, this is what I look like." She said, "This is what I want, message me." Because there's an assumption that you know what she looks like. Like, she has a profile
Yeah, she
picture,
has a
yeah.
profile
S
picture. Yeah, of course.
okay. So yeah, but, like, that's all that's there. And she's saying, "I need you to send me," like, she's giving a list of things about you. If you meet these things, then you're gonna be good for me. But she's not providing any information for the other person on the other end of that message to assess whether she is good for them. So there's an
That's what
assumption that you
dating is,
already
right?
there's an assumption that you already know that you like her and you know that you think that she is going to be a good there's no other reason that you would send the message.
The only reason you would send the message is if you were interested because oh, I fit these criteria. I think she's cute. Let's see what we got. I don't think that I think that's just I
Yeah, you think she's
you
cute.
were problematizing Smeth. You like seriously, you were problematizing something that is not problematic. You are
It is.
creating,
I'm
you
not.
are conjuring up this all these possible scenarios of possible perfidy perfidy and not promiscuous, pernicious behaviors that maybe, possibly, could be, perhaps. But again, we look at it just look at it as a normie. As a normie, you can see, oh, someone is lonely. They post on a public platform saying, I'm lonely. Here's my specs. You interested? Hit me up. I think that's
No,
human. I think that's healthy. I think that's okay.
no, said, here's my specs. She said, here's the specs I want you to meet. And she didn't say, here's my specs.
Sure, fair enough. Here's
Because she's a
what I
public
want.
figure and
Here's
she's
what I want.
assuming that you know about her, and she's doing this to so she's desperate, and she knows that there are people that think that she's very attractive and think that she's very smart, and so these are the people that would be ideal because there's already interest, and she knows that. And I think that that desperation and going towards that, because so most people, most normies don't have a following of people that like they don't have a following of fans. So like it's not a normal like just ever to out to everybody situation. And when you do have fans, there is a power imbalance between you and your fans, and you need to be protective of that boundary.
Sure. Again, when we're talking about if she was asking, I agree with you that it could be problematic if she's asking for money, pay to access, or if she's asking them to perform something outlandish, right? Like, but she's not asking for that, right? What she's asking for in her tweet was send me a photo of you, fair ask, and send me a couple paragraphs of what you are, who you like, what you're about. I think that's not out of pocket. It doesn't like it doesn't create any kind of weird dynamic or power imbalance that isn't just
I think it
naturally
does.
in every single relationship you'll ever have.
No,
So
no. Okay, actually, you're right. The power balance already exists because she is a public figure with fans. Okay, so the power balance already exists, and so she's going to people who are already have the power imbalance with her, and she's reaching out to those specific people as potential partners. And she's like, so like, yeah, like I don't think that she's creating balance. I think that she's taking advantage of a power imbalance, and by doing that she is dissolving boundaries between a public figure and fans, and she is changing the relationship between a public figure and the fans into an unhealthy one.
what? Well, let's try this angle. Let's try this angle. We're going in circles here, and I
I
don't want
think
to
she
go in
wait, hold on.
circles.
I need to virtue single one thing. I do think she's a good person. I don't think she's trying to hurt anybody.
Okay,
Okay. I wanted to
Pxie,
virtue signal that.
you're clear of the intention accusations, right? You are not intentionally a predator. Okay, let me let me try this. How many people does a person have to have watch their stream or follow them on Twitter for them to be considered a public figure in your mind? Would you have a
Um
problem if she had a tenth of her following? What she got, like 14K on Twitter or something?
I think that your responsibility as you get bigger goes like higher. Like I already said with Johnny Depp, like his responsibility like towards like his fans is like way stronger. If you like I probably have less fans than Pxie does. But I still wouldn't do that. Like I like I just seems like very wrong to me. It seems very obvious to me to be wrong to do. She for her it'd be more wrong. And the
So
high, more fans you get, the more wrong it is.
even if she was a two viewer Andy, right? She had two
Be
viewers, and she was
It'll be a
streaming
little
to two
wrong.
viewers, and she said, "Hey, I know the two viewers in chat that always hang out with me. I'm lonely. Do either of you meet this criteria? Can you send me a picture of you and maybe we can date or something?" You think that would be wrong?
Yeah, I think that the less fans you have, the less risk there is because there's going to be less people that like have crushes on you and have a
Okay,
really
so even
inflated
at two viewers,
opinion
you
of
think
you.
it's wrong in
So
principle.
so there so yeah, so when you are small, there are less people parasocially attached to you. So the risk is much lower. And when you are big, then there are much more people in it because it is a spectrum. There is no cutoff point. It is a spectrum. And I think that she is far enough along on that spectrum that she has enough fans and enough people that probably have crushes on her and stuff like that. It's just not okay to do that.
Let me ask this. Is this only an online thing? So what if you were in the real world? You worked with someone or
Mm.
you were in the same hobby group. You know this guy has a crush on you, okay? Or this girl, right? Whatever you're into, I don't know. You know this person has a crush on you. Is it wrong to flirt with them and see if they're interested in going out with you? You know they have a crush
No.
on you.
Are they
So
like your fan or an equal to you that you
what do you
see
mean
like
a
with
fan or an
mutual so
equal?
like okay, like if you are if they are your employee and you're a manager, then maybe it could be wrong. If you're both employees on the same level, then there's nothing wrong with it. If you're both managers, there's nothing wrong with it. And if you're a manager and his employee, it's not even there's a situation where maybe that's fine, okay? But like but the risk is like the risk of you hurting them, like being like having power over them, you're now like you are putting yourself in a position where you are like wielding your power dangerously and it could hurt the person.
Okay. I think I see the problem. You view streamers as a form of employer or a form
No,
of
that's not no.
no? Where
No,
did I miss it?
like it's an analogy. No, like because in real life, so in real life you don't have fans. Okay, someone just has a crush on you, and you are equal power level. You see them around. That is not the same as someone who is a fan.
Okay, so let me get through these. Eskil Johnson for $2. Whick, provide your list. I'll do it later. $2 from Brianna Wu. First Sonya, now Pxie. Why is Smeth always bullied? I don't know. Um, people, I'm trying to engage. Like people saying I don't know how to engage, but it's like someone telling me that the sky is orange. It's obviously not true, and so it's something I'm try to dig at to find different angles to maybe we can communicate properly. That's what I'm trying to do here, so that we can understand one another. Because
So not
again,
engaging. You're just
how is
I
that
mean
not
we can just
engaging?
disagree. We just disagree. I think that encourage I think that putting out the list encourages her fans to have a toxic parasocial attachment to her, which is unhealthy for them and bad for their lives. And it
Sure,
also puts her at risk.
this is your
You don't think that
assertion.
those
This
you
is
don't
your
think those are true.
assertion.
All right.
Can you point to me who's being
Okay.
harmed?
Her fans and potentially her.
I I just don't see the harm. I don't see the hurt that is any way different than someone if I know someone has a crush on me, do I have power over them? Kinda. Kinda, right? But if I am simply saying, "Hey, this is what I'd like. If you meet this, we can go out for a drink sometime and see if this works out." To say that that is predatory or not predatory, I'm sorry for using that word. I keep using that word. Apologies. To say that it is problematic or toxic,
Toxic's a good word.
to say that that is toxic is fundamentally wrong. That is not toxic. That is human nature. That isn't a thing that hurts people unless you view simply being rejected as a form of harm, and I reject that off the top of my head, right? Like I out of hand, I should say. I reject the fact that simply saying, "Oh, well, I'm interested in this. Oh, but it's not working out. Sorry, not my thing." I don't think that hurts. I don't think that's harmful, right?
Okay. I think that there's a difference between fans and just like random people, like someone that has a crush on you, like a fan that has a crush on you, and just like a colleague one you see every day or once in a while isn't the same. So wait, do you think that there are any forms of parasocial relationships that are harmful?
Yes, yes, I do. So,
Okay,
for example,
okay. So because I think that this is the most extreme possible form of a parasocial relationship that you are encouraging. So can you tell me what you think is a harmful parasocial relationship?
okay. I already used the money example. Another example would be like if I were to tell my fans or my followers or my chat, whatever. We'll use fans for the sake of the conversation. Hey, chat, I think we should go bully Smeth. I think we should all go bully Smeth. This is an example. Don't bully Smeth. That would be parasocial and wrong because you were leading your followers as some sort of mob in a crusade of some sort against someone to harm someone. But I think it's natural, and like having a hero is parasocial, right? Did you have a hero growing
Yes,
up?
of course.
Yeah. Did that hurt you?
No,
So again,
but
I think
my hero didn't tell me that I could apply to be their boyfriend.
what if they did?
That would be harmful. That would be
You
harmful.
keep saying this. Why?
I mean, that's how you end up with like Michael Jackson doing shit, and that's how you end up with Louis C.K.
I
And that's
agree.
how you
If
end up.
Pxie was
That's how you
telling
end.
children this, that would be bad.
Well, there are probably children seeing that.
Okay, I guess she didn't give the age limit, but I think we can assume, right? There's some
Yeah.
obvious
Okay.
examples of like, yes, she didn't put of age in her description there, but I think we can imagine that
In
that would be one of the criterias. No?
of course. But like, so in your example of a unhealthy parasocial relationship, I don't think you gave an example of an unhealthy parasocial relationship. You just said an example of somebody taking advantage of an already unhealthy parasocial relationship. So
I think that's
like,
what I
I don't
think
think.
that just real quick because this is important. That's what makes it unhealthy, is the taking
Okay,
advantage.
okay. So you don't think that having a parasocial relationship is unhealthy?
Not in and of itself, no.
Okay, in no form.
I hesitate to say no form because I'm sure I can
Okay,
imagine situations, but in most
so
forms, no, I don't think it's inherently unhealthy.
all right, I don't think there's anything wrong with having a hero or like looking up to people. Looking up to, I don't know, Robert Downey Jr. or something. But if Robert Downey Jr. is now posting on Twitter, these are the things I'm looking for a boyfriend, and like if you meet these things, send me a selfie and message me. And I'm now he's not just a hero. He's like, I believe that he's actually like potentially part of my life, and my connection to him is now it's like you're telling people you're encouraging like obsession and like fanaticism like on an extreme level that's beyond just having a hero.
$2 from the trip to say no age requirement. Case closed. Pixie's a predator. Lock her up.
No, like no. So the point I was getting at there, was it's not like she's a predator. She
That
wants to
wasn't a
take advantage of young
serious.
people. No, 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 no. But that reminded me because like the thing is, it's not that she wants to, but like fans of hers that might be like underage will still get the negative effect of like seeing her in that way. Oh, I could actually date her. Maybe like one day, like I could date her or something. And young people are even more susceptible to that obsession and that fixation.
Let me
Have you
ask
ever seen a
this:
stream
have I
where
ever seen
they
a
do? Have you
stream?
ever
Uh,
a stream where
More than I'd like, but
like
yeah.
like an amaranth type of streamer, like a flirtatious type
I
of
know of
streamer, and
them.
they do
I know of them.
right,
I know
and
what you're
they
talking
they
about.
do. Have you ever seen when they do like
But what
boyfriend
makes that wrong,
applications?
in your opinion? Because I
Because
agree with you,
all
it's
of the
predatory.
people,
I agree
all
with you.
all of
Amaranth
the
and that kind of streaming is predatory, and there's a reason why it's
right.
predatory, right?
Yeah, because you're making all these people feel so strongly connected to you and so hopeful and thinking that there's actually like a chance, and like there's maybe one person that could message her that there's a chance, but like all those other people, now you've created a relationship where they see you in this extreme way, and that is not just gonna go away. Like,
Okay. But the bad part of that is that there isn't actually a chance. The bad part of that
yeah,
is that it's a scam. It's, again, intentionally
okay,
set up to drain them of their time and attention and money. That's what makes it wrong. Is it the intention of it and like the fact that it's not real? Pxie,
okay,
as you've agreed to at the start of this conversation, is being honest. This is something she actually wants. So when we talk about this not being or someone being potentially a part of someone's life, yes, this is a very real thing. If
no, not
someone meets
very real.
Pixie's, uh, if someone meets Pixie's qualifications, there is every you have just as much chance as a person on the street, right? like if not more so than becoming a part of Pxie's life. When they start to call you, to DM you, to hang out with you, is it still parasocial?
Yes.
Why? At what point does it turn from being parasocial to a
all
friend?
of those people, so like this is because the way it works is actually like what you just said is like fucking wrong. The way it works is not that there's actually, it's not like a slot machine where there's like a statistical chance that if you put the coin in then you're going to win. There's like actually most of those people literally have no chance, period. And they think that they do. And now that their imagination of my relationship to you, Whick, is that you are my potential lover, and I've imagined our future together, and I've imagined us having sex, and I've imagined all this, and I'm sending you this thing because I think that you're the one and I'm the one for you. That is not something you want your fans to think. That's not something you want to do to your fans just so that you can find the right one. To do that all to all your fans, that's not good. And if in the right one, you are the chance of you like finding a super fan or of somebody who's just actually trying to hurt you or take advantage of you, or that is like Machiavellian. Maybe they're trying to social climb. Maybe they just want to get to you so that they can get to Destiny there, so they can get to some bigger streamers. You're opening yourself up to all that too. But that's another point. I'm just saying that to damage to your fans is now they've seen this and now that's how they feel about you. You've created this relationship between you and your fans.
Let me try this. Okay. First of all, why am I talking to Smeth? Because I want to talk to Smeth, gang. Okay, I like Smeth. Believe it or not. I think that Smeth is an honest actor trying to genuinely engage with his points. But I think where we're diverging ways is I think that you are asserting that by virtue of her putting this out there, this inherently creates or opens this up, this Pandora's box, if you will, in
Yeah.
a parasocial Pandora's box, if you will.
Yes.
Where I do not think it inherently does. I think that the people who are going to think like that, the people who do have those weird connections, will have it irregardless of whether or not she puts this out. I think that there are people who will absolutely reach out to her that otherwise wouldn't, but they're not going to take it that far, right? The person who would hold back isn't the type to do these weird kind of get their hopes up. And again, what is the difference between someone taking you out on a date, you going out for a few dates, and getting your hopes up in that way, and then saying, "Oh, man, it's just not working out." Do you think that the person who does that is hurting the person who thought it was going great and has imagined this life together and started writing your initials in a heart in all their notebooks? Do you think that that is the fault of the person who is turning the other person down?
Can you repeat that again?
Sure. If what is the difference between, because you said the harm was that people, it will get their hopes up. They'll begin imagining these scenarios in their head of having little pixies together running around and having a happy family because she put this out. What would be the difference between that harm and someone going out with someone for a few dates and then again, the person thinks it's going well, they get this image in their head. I mean, you're going out with them, maybe you make out a couple times, maybe you have sex, right? Do you think that the person then being like, "Oh man, this just isn't working, sorry, not interested anymore," do you think that they have also done harm to the other person, right? Do you think it's their fault? Do you think they're responsible
No,
for that
of
other
course not.
person's weird
Well,
thoughts?
I guess, I mean, they could be to some extent, but that would be down to the nuance of like, like maybe they, but yeah, sure, that's normal. That's not a problem. But difference there is that those people that so like you turn down people in real life. You start talking to someone on Tinder and you're like, this isn't working. I'm turning you down. But this other person was really into me and I turned them down. And that's hurtful to them, but that's just normal, and you have to live with that. The difference is that person is going to now go away, and now I'm not part of their life. Your fans, though, they are still going to be your fan. They're not just going to like, or I guess maybe some of them will just like cut you off, but that's not true. They're just going to like now continue to interact with you, continue to see you all the time, and like they don't get to have that going away. Like when you get turned down by somebody, you have the great fucking luxury of being able to fuck off and never see them again in your whole life. That's not the case here.
Okay. So, I see this all the time. It happens to me on occasion, believe it or not, where I won't I won't do what someone wants, or I will disappoint someone. You know what they do? They fuck off. They fuck off. They're like, I'm not watching this anymore. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I see female streamers all the time. There's I don't want to use the name as an example because they haven't given me permission to use the story, but it was a public story. But I'll just tell you the story. So they got 100 subs, 100 gift subs. It's a female streamer. They got 100 gift subs from someone because they were sad. Okay, they were sad on stream, and this person wanted to cheer them up, so they gave them 100 gift subs. They're like, thank you. Later on, they keep talking on stream, right, in chat, and this person's like, so do you have a boyfriend? And she's like, yeah, I do. And this person gets mad and fucks off and just never goes back in the stream again. Like, this happens all the time. So to insinuate like that somehow fans are trapped in their streamers circle or cycle,
it's funny,
right? That I just think is fundamentally wrong.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, so like your best case scenario is that literally everybody that like looked up to her and thought she was attractive and then got some glimmer of hope there just like never like they just leave and she loses all of those
Or
people.
they just realize, oh, okay, well, I guess I didn't work out, and then they're fine.
Okay, so then that's not what's happening. Like so
It could
so
be
then
both.
okay, so your ideal scenario is where the bad thing that I'm describing doesn't happen, but we both agree that that bad thing will happen, but sometimes it won't.
I don't. Can you?
It's
Okay.
not going to do that
Is your
to everybody.
bad
It's
thing
going to
that
do that.
someone gets
It's
their
going to
hopes
do
up
that.
and then gets rejected? Because if you're saying that that's what might happen, yes, that might happen. I just don't think that's
It's not the
harmful.
same as it's not it's like it's not the same as just getting rejected by a mutual person who's on the same level. It's like you like if you are a fan of somebody and their content and then they tell you that you might have a chance and you're like, oh, maybe I do. Then like,
Look,
well, I guess I was wrong. I never did have a chance. Okay, but it's like it's not like you stop liking their content. You're talking about someone's leaving your stream because they don't like your content. But I'm talking about someone who watches your stream because they like you. And like so you're telling all the people that like you.
Do you mind if I invite Pxie on? I don't know if she's still watching. I saw her earlier.
Go ahead. Yeah,
Pxie,
go ahead.
Are you watching still? You want to come and talk to Smeth about it, address his allegations? I saw you in here earlier. I don't know if you stuck around this long. If you did, congratulations. Stronger than most of my fans, right? But if you're out there and you'd like to talk to Smeth about this, I think maybe getting your perspective as a parasocial streamer, right? That is doing this. Maybe your arguments can reach him in a way that mine cannot. So please just jump backstage, !point Discord and chat. And we'll see if we can make this happen. If not, all good. I understand. This is kind of a spur of the moment thing. I'm just really trying to I think we have several impasses here. I think that you are again, I keep repeating myself, but it bears repeating that there is no fundamental difference between someone doing it like Pxie's doing it and someone going out with someone in real life, right? In meat space, if you will, getting someone's hopes up and then again rejecting them.
So the only that could ever be the case, which I don't think it is the case whatsoever, is if there's no difference between people who are equals into you in life and your fans. You're saying your fans are actually your equals and there's no power imbalance between a public figure and their fans.
Or I don't think that there is. Let me try it this way. because again, we're going in circles here. I'm trying to get us off the loop, trying to break the cycle. So I'm trying to phrase it in a way, or maybe tackle it from a different direction, so this can be a little bit more productive. And gang, if you're in chat and you want in on the conversation, come on backstage. We'll pull you in one at a time. Because I don't think Pxie's here anymore. But yeah, just come on in and we can have this discussion. Maybe you'll have a better angle than I do. But I think that the power imbalance inherent isn't necessarily one that is going to be harmful, right? So there is a power imbalance, quote unquote, between a fan and a celebrity, a public figure. There's a big power imbalance between someone who is a fan of Guns N' Roses and Guns N' Roses, only in the sense that Guns N' Roses has the ability to influence the fan more than the fan has the ability to influence Guns N' Roses. However, if you are not using your influence to hurt someone else, I don't think that this is a problem. And I don't think that what Pxie was doing was using her influence, intentionally or not, to hurt others. I don't think getting their hopes up, quote unquote, is doing them harm.
Okay, I think that making them see you as an like making that, like, pretending as if you are equals to them and making them believe that for a moment is not the same as like getting, like, it's not like same as like someone who you turn down in real life. Like that the fan now for a moment thinks that I'm more than a fan. I'm your equal, and I am like we have matched on Tinder potentially. Like that's not the same as just turning someone down. That is not just getting your hopes up. That is a breach of the boundary between a fan and a creator, and making them feel as if they're equals, and then telling them that they're not. That's never going to always feel that attachment to you, and as if they are that equal to you. And the power imbalance, the power imbalance is not just that you can influence them. That is secondary. The power imbalance is emotional. You have like sway over them emotionally. They care about you more than you care about them.
But
They don't
this
even know who they are.
exists in any situation, any relationship, online or offline, fan or non-fan, any relationship where one person likes someone more than the other person likes the other person. This exists everywhere. And this is, we can't, we are problematizing something that is inescapable.
But fans, yeah, but there's like, I'm saying that the relationship between a public figure and their fans is different than the relationship between peers. And you make your fan feel like they are a peer, which is what you're describing. That's fine. Yeah, it's fine for peers to feel that way. But when you make a fan feel that way, now now like if the people watching you that you don't even know who they are, they think that they are like your friend, and they think that when you were talking to chat, you were talking specifically to them, and like that is unhealthy. And if you've urged them to become that, now you've hurt them. That's caused damage to their life. They shouldn't think that. You shouldn't want them to think that.
Okay.
And encouraging that just so that you can have higher chances of finding a partner is bad.
Okay, I'm going to bring some people on one at a time. If they have questions for me or you, or in general, we'll see what they have to say. Maybe someone else will help break this loop. You're live.
It's not necessarily an American thing, but
You're live.
oh, hello. What's good?
Do you have thoughts on the situation? Do you have thoughts on what we've been talking about? Have you been listening? Do you know why you're here?
Yeah, I know I'm here.
Okay. What you got?
I just feel like, why do people care so much? I don't really understand why people care at all. Like, it's like, if that's the situation that like gets you so upset.
Oh, Pxie's at dinner. She can't talk right now. But go on.
There's so much other shit going on the internet. If that's the shit that makes you like really like you grind your gears, then like you must be just pissed constantly. So
I think this is you.
That's my thought.
Do you think you're overreacting?
Definitely.
I think that I am being characterized as like this is like the biggest thing that I care about. But no, it's just something I saw, and I saw a public thing on Twitter, and I said this is toxic and harmful. So I public tweet about it, And that
Dude,
is the end of it. And I
you should probably get off Twitter, honestly.
why?
Okay.
Because you don't like my opinion?
No, because Twitter is notoriously toxic as fuck.
I mean, fair. Okay, thanks for coming on, by the way.
No problem.
Appreciate. Get off Twitter. I mean, he's not wrong. Bring on the next guy.
Yeah, it is.
What you got?
It is bad for you.
Hello?
You're live. What are your thoughts?
So from what I understand, what 𝕾𝖎 did was she basically put out boyfriend applications for all her fans, yes? So I fully got it understood.
If that's true, that sounds pretty bad. I mean, not like, I mean, like, there's worse things in the world you can do, but that's what I'm talking
Are we talking about
here.
Pxie here, or are we talking about someone else?
Yeah,
𝕾𝖎.
Pxie. That's
Oh, I
what
don't
she
know
did,
her
right?
Oh,
name.
Pxie. Oh, 𝕾𝖎 is someone else. I thought you were talking about, if 𝕾𝖎 did this, it would be even worse because 𝕾𝖎 is really big.
No, I'm talking about Pxie. Whoever we're talking.
Okay.
Yeah, we're talking about Pxie.
Okay.
Yeah, so Pxie put out
She-
boyfriend applications to all her fans, right?
More or less. Like, she didn't like make a sheet that was like an application, but she said, if you meet these criteria, send me a selfie and like tell me something about yourself. So she told fans to apply to be her boyfriend.
I mean, okay, so here's my idea.
First of all, your mic is weird. Can you adjust it? I don't know if you're like covering it up or what, but it's hard to hear you.
Is this better?
Yes. What you got?
Okay. So my whole thing is I think there's a difference. Okay, I guess this is how I would say it, right? If I personally smoke cigarettes, that can be like okay for me personally, but in a society where lots of people smoke cigarettes, that's probably not a good thing. Or like where people constantly feel the need to do it, it's probably not a good thing. So that's kind of how I would liken this, right?
So,
like her
if I
action
may,
isn't necessarily. Go ahead.
so in your opinion, just so I understand it, is that what Pxie is doing is her doing it as a one-off might not be an issue, but everyone doing it would be bad. Do you think that everyone putting out a list of qualities that they want and saying, contact me if you meet these qualities, is a bad thing?
No, more so, I mean, in a society, like her specifically doing it on her own isn't necessarily a bad thing, but a society in which there's like thousands of lonely, desperate men that can be negatively affected by like one famous girl putting out a boyfriend application is kind of fucked. It's kind of like it's like in the perfect world, it would be okay for anyone to like state their preferences racially for who we're dating. But considering we live in such a heavily racialized world, saying I only date white people is gonna hit a lot different than in a world where everything was actually like okay when it comes to race. I don't know if that makes sense. Are you guys picking up what I'm putting?
Yeah, that's a different point that I haven't really even been talking about, but just listing off the qualities publicly makes people like, so like say they don't even have this parasocial thing, but they do think you're attractive and they look up to you. Now they're thinking that they're not good enough because they're comparing themselves. It's like if you were publicly to say that you only like one race, that's not that is like kind of
Are we being
toxic to
serious right
all
now?
the people. If you say that you only like white people,
putting out a list of qualities is inherently toxic?
Yeah, if
No.
you say that you only like white people, then to all the people that aren't white, now they feel like devalued.
So
and
if I
like,
say I only like interesting
Exactly,
and funny people,
that was kind of my point. That was kind of
Yeah.
my point. That was the whole thing that I was getting to. That in the world that we currently live, what's her face did was harmful. Even if I don't think purely it was something wrong, what she did was like harmful in our current world, and that's why it's like kind of
Oh,
bad. I wouldn't say you can't do it, but I do think it's definitely
I'm
harmful, and I think it would be silly to
I'm
suggest that
going
it
to
probably
have
is.
an aneurysm. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's not going to be good. If we are seriously saying that putting out a list of qualities is inherently toxic because some people won't meet those qualities and then we'll feel bad because they don't meet
Mm,
those qualities, I don't know what to do with you guys.
But we're
It's
talking
a
about
little
public
bit
figures, not
different because
it,
yeah, exactly. They're a public figure.
it.
We're not talking about just some random girl who has a couple Instagram followers and they're all like people we know. We're talking about a girl with like thousands of people who are fawning over her every fucking hour of the day. Like, I
Do
think
you
it's a
think Pixie's
scale.
having thousands of people fawning over her every day?
If
She
I'm
probably
being
has
completely
1,000.
honest, I don't even know who the fuck Pixie is. I've heard her on Destiny stream a couple times. I don't know what she looks like. I don't know her Instagram. I don't know none of that. But uh, that's what I was picking up from you guys' conversation. They were saying it was bad that for a woman who has all these people out, it's kind of perverse for the same reason that OnlyFans is perverse. But I'm not comfortable saying women can't do that. Just like I'm not comfortable saying Pixie can't do what she did. I'm just saying it's obviously probably not good for men,
I think
right?
the
Yeah.
money exchange in OnlyFans makes your argument for that a little stronger. I still have issues with it, right? But I think that makes it stronger. Again, as I said earlier, if Pixie was saying, here 3 subs, or if you sub to me, or if you watch my content, like if she had you have to engage with my content in a certain way, or else you don't qualify. Then I'm hearing you, and we're having a different conversation. But she didn't do that at all. But we got a bit of a line. Thank you for your contribution. I'm gonna let you go now.
Okay.
Hate it. 7, hello. You're live.
Hello.
Wait, I'm live?
You're live, yes.
Oh, hey. So I have a slightly different angle on this. I'm not sure if anyone else has come on and said this, but I think we should be real that it isn't about Pixie dating fans because she will not date a fan. There is no world in which a random fan DMs her and she's going to be interested in them and date them. What she's actually doing is baiting engagement and leading fans on to think that they can date her, the way that OnlyFans models do with their subscribers. And she doesn't have an OnlyFans, but she does have her Venmo in her profile and obviously Twitch donations. So what she's really doing, she's using lonely men to hustle. She's baiting engagement and attention at the very least. And that's the latter part of that is kind of fine, but it's cringe and it makes women look bad.
7, no, you're failing me. What is this? No, this is wrong. I don't
It's
think.
true.
So your contention here, and please, if I get it wrong, correct me, is that this is engagement bait, that she's doing it simply, that she's not serious about her call to action. She doesn't really believe she's going to date any of these people. She's simply doing it in order to drive engagement and drive specifically men to engage with her. That's your claim?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that's a claim. I disagree wholeheartedly.
Hold on.
Why do you say
To-
this? Like, under what? Like, let's talk about this. Why do you say this? Why? What
Wait.
about Pixie and how she's engaged with this space leads you to believe that that's what she's doing?
Because existing as a woman online, you're constantly getting DMs from all kinds of guys who think they have a chance with you. And she's leading them on to think that that is going to lead somewhere. And if she was looking for someone on Twitter, she would simply be engaging with those people. But she's not. I guarantee you that she isn't. And she might even complain about that kind of attention. And now she's fueling the idea that we want it. Like, I constantly get accused of this kind of thing just for existing online, and she's making that worse for women because these are the kind of assumptions people make.
Yeah, you have one of those voices. You sound like you have like that voice where you kind of sound like you're smiling. I bet a lot of guys message you.
Well, they don't usually hear my voice, but
don't be weird. But
No.
I think that simply, like, I hear you about being a woman on the internet, right? Like I don't have that experience, but I've heard enough from enough women that I believe you when you say that, right? I just don't think that being the meta, if you will, makes it what Pxie specifically is doing predatory. Do you think it's predatory for a woman outside of this space to say, hey, gang, I'm single and I'm ready to mingle. Here's what I'd like. Eat what I'd like. Hit me up. Do you think that outside of the internet, if they did it like at their in their sewing circle or book club or whatever, do you think that would be inherently predatory?
No, it'd just be cringe.
That's not what
But
we're
it's
talking about.
obviously a different context because she has a platform.
I have a question, Wick. So like, I'm not like, I mean, like, so I think that what Seven is saying could be true. Like that's a possibility. Like she did it to drive engagement, but I don't think that Pxie would do that. But regardless of if it's in her intention or not, it's hard to argue that that's the effect it would have, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. I wouldn't say that's her intention, but that's the effect, and I think that's damaging.
Yes, exactly. That's the thing. That's the parasocial. Like you're driving all these men to now, like have that feeling about you and like try to reach out and they have like bonding with you in a weird way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just sort of a fact that men think that if they donate to you and support you and gas you up on your platform, that they think that means they're more likely to have a chance.
Sure, and I agree with you, and I've said this before, but I'll say it again. If she was like asking for subs or saying, "Hey, if you're a tier 3 sub, then you're more likely for me to read your message or whatever," that would be a one thing, and I would be with you on that. But that's not what she's doing. She's not being she she never implied in word or in deed that this was going to be the case. Now, if some people assume that because they're horny guys, how is that on Pxie?
Well,
Is Pxie not allowed to express her desires online because someone might take it wrong?
it's different when you're making it sound. I mean, I know it was 𝕾𝖎𝖙 that made it explicitly an application.
Yeah, 𝕾𝖎𝖙 made it a survey of some sort that you had to fill out. I forget the drama with that, right?
Yeah, and I think that what Pixie's doing is sort of unintentionally baiting that, even if she's not saying that.
I fundamentally 7. Great. I think you're wrong. I think you're dead wrong on this. But
So you don't think that's the effect that it's going to have? You don't think that there are delusional men
think
who are going to donate to her
that
thinking
they
that
would be doing this regardless of what she does at all. That the people who would do that are going to do it simply because she exists, right?
Do you want to do an experiment where I post something like that and see if my chance go?
Do you want to do that experiment? Because it ain't gonna
That's
affect me. But let's do that.
that's
How
the
about
thing.
this? If you're willing, we can do this. We look. I'm gonna make money off of this. I'm gonna monetize you, 7. Okay. We can have
I can't. It's disrespectful to my boyfriend. I wouldn't do that. It's
enough.
just that that's genuinely how I think that it would go. And I think like it's easy to not have sympathy or empathy for the men who do this stuff because it is delusional, it is entitled, whatever. But I still do because I mean we've been talking about the problems with lonely men and how they engage online and how they're looking for affection and companionship in the wrong places. And I think this is going to amplify that.
I agree with you that they are deserving of sympathy, that it is a real problem, but I disagree with you that Pxie is in any way, shape, or form feeding into it by simply expressing her opinion. I think that there are people who absolutely do feed into that, who do manipulate their audiences, who are parasocial in a very toxic and negative way. I think that simply what Pxie did is not that. I think Pxie simply saying, here are the qualities I want. If you're interested, DM me, is not feeding into that. I don't see the connection. I know that you're saying that it's simply the ocean we live in and the ocean we swim in, and it's just going to naturally occur. But I think it's wrong to say that Pxie is feeding into that. I just don't think that's true.
But
So
okay, so you
if
would make the distinction
if they
between what she did and what 𝕬𝖎𝖓 did, right?
I'm not as familiar with what 𝕬𝖎𝖓 did. I'm gonna be real with you. So it's very hard for me to make any comparisons because I'm not very familiar with that. I heard of it. I just didn't engage with it.
Right. Because I think that her just listing what her type is and what she's looking for is fine. But when she says, like, if you fit this, send me a DM with a selfie, she's definitely doing a call to action that makes people feel like they have an in.
Do you think? And I also disagree with you that she would never date a fan. I think she would. I don't think Pxie. I don't think Pxie's lying when she says she wouldn't ever in any way, shape, or form have any romantic interest in fans. And I think Ayla absolutely probably would fulfill like the call to action on her little survey. I think that she absolutely would fuck her fans. I think she's done it before and will do it again. And I think Pxie would be open to potentially a relationship. So I guess my biggest issue is I take issue with you saying that she's lying about this. I don't think she is.
The thing is,
Well,
Pixie's just she's so naive. She's naive because she's not like Ayla. Like for the other arguments still apply, but like this is why I think it hurts. I don't. She's not like Ayla's like a sex worker. Like Pixie's not a sex worker. Like I don't think she realizes the thing that she's stoking when she does that.
yeah. Well, that I'm not necessarily calling her a liar or saying that she has bad intentions because obviously I can't know that. I'm mostly talking about the effect, and when I say that she wouldn't date a fan, I feel that all these guys DMing her don't have a shot. I think that she might think she's open to it, but I highly doubt it. And it's because of that position of not power, but she's in a very different position than they are.
7. Thank you for coming on.
No
I
problem.
appreciate
Thanks for
the
having
little
me.
back and forth, but we got like a ton in line there, so we got to get to them. But I will see you. See ya.
Okay. See ya.
And all y'all jumping in for this one. I already talked to you, Punk. Let's bring in. I know there was an order that people came in, but I got to be real with you. I don't remember it, so I'm gonna just pull people in. What you got, Emery? You're live.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm mauling. I think people's takes on this are
What's up?
bad. But
I'm talking to
which-
buddy
which-
Whick. I'm talking to Smeth, my little buddy.
Oh, sorry. Talk to Smeth.
Oh
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Hi, Emery.
Hey, man. So your take is pretty good, but I also feel like you're a little, I don't know. What's the point overall? Like what's the general like point of saying it? Like it's really not a big deal at the end of the day.
Okay, like there's two like scenarios. I think it's the first one I'm gonna say, but the scenario is like
Sure.
it's like I think that she's gonna get hurt.
Mhm.
And I think that either she's hurting or taking advantage of her fans. And I don't even, and if she's not taking advantage of her fans, it's still gonna happen. It's just not her intention. And so, but I also think she's gonna get hurt. It just like when I saw it, I was this doesn't seem good, and so I just tweeted about it.
Hmm.
And I mean, I like I'm not trying to like fight with Pxie either. And I mean, I'm really interested in how Pxie feels about me because like
Yeah.
I don't think Pixie's like a bad. I'm like worried for her, and I mean maybe that she why does she even care about that? Like I don't really know Pxie, but that's
Do you
why I
feel
felt
like
that way.
do you feel like it's infantilizing a little bit? And I'm not saying that to be like overly negative to you about this, but do you think there's like an infantilization of her fans and herself that they couldn't navigate like a potential healthy relationship? Like I agree with you. I can see where like this could go wrong in so many different ways. But do you think like she should be allowed to do that? Like do you think it's like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I think I don't. It's you're allowed to do it. I
Mhm.
just think it's toxic. Like it's not like, I mean, I can like just to some extent I consider myself kind of a fan of 𝕬𝖓, and she did that. I didn't even really know about it until just now, but like of course 𝕬𝖓 did that. Like when I hear that, it's like of course 𝕬𝖓 did that. Of course.
Now
But
I'm
like
bring it.
it's not like condemnable, but it's just not good.
Can I
I'm
ask if I
bring
may
it.
interject? Because
Mhm.
I didn't ask this before. I'm very curious. Smeth, did you talk to Pxie about this at all? Privately?
No.
No, you just
Nope.
Wait, I'm gonna bring it a little bit personal to you. You have a OnlyFans or some sort of thing, right? Right? You have that, right? Are you still doing that, or what's up with that?
I'm not really still doing it, but yeah, it's not OnlyFans. It's
Mhm.
not really
So
monetized at all.
okay. So, do you think it's like do you think it's sort of similar? I'm I'm not even like
Yeah, a
attacking
little
you.
bit actually.
I actually kind
Yeah.
of am curious about the element
Um,
of like the parasocial idea of like being a streamer first and then kind of promoting an OnlyFans or
I'm not promoting.
maybe
I'm not.
potential fans. Yeah.
I'm not promoting an OnlyFans.
Okay. I mean, you not now. I know you did once, but
No,
you're not
no,
actively doing it, right?
never.
Never.
I do have an OnlyFans with like 1 follower, and like
Okay.
it's locked down. There's nobody like, there's nothing on it. But I
Yeah.
mean, I have the account.
okay. Okay.
I guess would be is if your OnlyFans was a little bit more successful, do you think that would be like
I'm not trying
somewhat
to be
like
successful with my
problematic?
OnlyFans though.
No, I'm saying if this were the case though, like I'm just bringing it to that area. Do you think that would be like a
I
bad thing
think
for you and your fans potentially?
Is letting the people
um
listening to your stream right now know that you had an OnlyFans or something similar toxic?
it like, so I think that the it's not really. Like
Oh,
it's
it's
like
okay. Not toxic when you do it.
the thing that is toxic about the parasocial thing is when you are into, every time I fucking talk, you start fucking sighing. You, the thing that is toxic is when you're interacting with your fans. So like you can be a porn star, and it's not toxic to your fans to be a porn star, and you can be a like you can be a street, like you can make videos, but it's actually like streaming is like worse than making videos to your fans, because when you are a streamer, then the boundary between you and your fans is more dissolved. Like they think that they're more close to you and stuff, and then if you tell them that they could be your boyfriend, then it's even more dissolved. And if you tell them, like, if you know, like, so like the number of things to dissolve it. I think boyfriend applications are worse for the fan than OnlyFans.
Wow, that's the take. Well, Emery, thank you for coming on. Thank you for your comments. Any last words before I send you to the void?
um
Doesn't matter sending you to the void. Cool. No, we love you, Emery. Thanks for coming in. I don't know you actually. Let's bring in the next person. What you got? You're live. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, you're
Hi.
live. What you got?
Okay. Excellent. Yeah. Oh man, that backstage. Whew, that was rough. Anyway,
You guys
Smith,
behaving
it's
back there?
some people were not,
Uh-oh,
unfortunately.
naughty. Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I think someone got banned. Let's not repeat her name. Anyway, so Smith, it seems like you put correct me if I'm wrong. Do you put every human social interaction on a spectrum of a power dynamic?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Are they only good ones and bad ones? Because you kept using the words toxic, harmful, and the words good.
Okay.
So it sounds like there's a spectrum, but it's a binary. There's only
No.
good or bad. So
No.
where would you? Elaborate. Is there a middle ground somewhere in every general human interaction with the power dynamic?
That there is. between everybody, there's going to be some level of power dynamic, and for some people, it's going to be like 0 on the spectrum. Like the power dynamic
Like
between me
0 as in
and
like
like
not plus 10 or minus 10, but 0 in the middle.
this is a spectrum of 0 to 100, and the power dynamic between actually, well, there's fucking arguments you can make, but like socially, the power dynamic between me and like some random person in China is 0 because I don't know who they are, and like there's a you could
No,
say
we're
that
not
Whick
talking about
maybe
that. We're
has
talking about social interactions, as in we are communicating.
okay.
You know,
Yes.
every type of social interaction. Going to the grocery store, there's
Do
a
you
power
want to
dynamic.
hear what I fucking have to say? Okay,
No,
so the power dynamic.
but you're not understanding my question because you.
Do you know? Let me answer it.
Well, because you're trying to say 0 to 100, and I'm trying to get you to understand that you've been talking about in a binary of good and bad.
Okay, no, first you asked me, okay, first, no, actually, no, I'm trying to tell you you're wrong. That's not what I think, and you're trying to tell me that I think it's a binary, but I already agreed that I think it's a
that's what
spectrum.
I've heard this entire, this entire
So because
conversation.
you think that because I think some things are bad, that means I cannot possibly think of it in a spectrum. Because if I think that some things are good and some things are bad,
to clarify something. I'm trying to get you to clarify
some things
something.
are more good.
Listening
So,
to you.
For every good thing, there's something that's even more good, and for every bad thing, there's something that's even more bad. So yes, it's a spectrum.
That
it
is
is not
0, as in neutral, a true neutral. Is there a true neutral ever? Power dynamic ever?
Power dynamic? Yes. No, like so. If it is
what we're talking about, only power dynamics, good and bad. And true neutral. Is there a true neutral power dynamic?
There is no true neutral because 0 is like the lack of any dynamic.
Okay. So there's always let's just for the sake of conversation, let's say there's always going to be some sort of power dynamic. It's never going to be entirely equal. But the question becomes, in my mind, so what?
Yeah.
But that's the problem. Smeth has to elaborate to say that there are very harmful or toxic ones, and we as a crowd listen to this and go, as a general person, I'm just explaining it from a listener. It seems like you're using these words when I think you're putting too much emphasis on them.
You don't get what I'm saying. I could probably explain it to you.
You're not communicating.
I could probably explain to you. I could probably communicate.
You're not communicating in a good way.
If you want me to communicate what you want me to communicate, it's not going to happen. Okay.
To use the words toxic
you keep telling me
when we're talking about boyfriend I think it's a little much. And I think most people in the audience.
I'm ready to respond. Okay, so you keep like saying that I am saying that there are harmful power dynamics and like toxic power. No, like no power dynamic in itself is ever harmful. Like just like Whick said, like who cares? Yeah, it is how you like engage with the power dynamic. If you use the power dynamic like Whick's example to brigade your fans to harass somebody, that is a toxic engagement with a power dynamic. And that way it's different because it's toxic to the person you're brigading. But like I think there are toxic. There are toxic engagements.
Let Smith finish.
There are toxic ways to engage with the power dynamic that are harmful to the person who you have power over.
I gotcha. So, is there ever a way that Pxie, in this situation, if she's lonely and she wants to get in touch with people, you're saying that Twitter was just the wrong place to do it because it's a public platform? Is that your general consensus? Because if it was a private place,
to her
then
fans.
no, doesn't matter.
She shouldn't.
But the fan dynamic,
she shouldn't do it.
Okay.
She shouldn't do it to her fans. That's what I think.
What is she doing to her fans?
Boyfriend application.
She's not causing them to do any actions, correct? She's putting out to the world that she has these requirements, which I didn't even get to hear the whole thing about not having or having requirements, which is silly anyway. But it's like she wants these sort of requirements in order to date somebody, and she puts it on a public platform. You see it as a harm because it's only fans now have to act on this?
No. Nobody has to do anything.
So why is it harmful? She's not causing any action being done to her fans, right? Oh no, you're so defeated.
Okay, well,
No,
thank you
like she's not forcing anyone to do anything. Like they're people like having fans. Fans are people who look up to you and they think highly of you. Telling them that they have a chance with you. She's not like if I say that like
She's not
if I say
saying
that
she
if
has. They
if
have
I,
a
if I
chance.
say that, if I tell you that if you suck my dick, I'm gonna give you $2 billion. I didn't force you to suck my dick. It's your
Yeah,
problem if
that's
you
right.
suck my dick.
Okay.
That's retarded. You have this Zen way
On
of
that
like,
note-
You
like
didn't give me to do it. What are you talking
the
about?
frog jumps in the lake. That's a Zen poem. The frog didn't cause the splash; it just happened. The frog jumped and it went in the lake. And there's like you're disconnecting everything from everything else in this
I don't
fucking
know
retarded
what you're
Zen
talking
way.
about.
Okay.
You're completely.
I know you don't.
I need to
completely
get
lost
to
the
more
mark.
callers.
You
I need-
completely lost the mark.
I
Okay,
need to
bye,
get to
Whick.
more
Thanks.
callers. I think
Okay.
you've made your point, and we'll see you.
Also,
when we
Whick,
see
you did have that dating show with her, so I'm just saying.
I did have
you're
that dating
kinda,
show with her. Was that
kinda
being toxic?
implicated
I
in
don't
this.
know. I don't know.
I know.
So that's what this is all about.
Don't make it weird. I was wanting to make money, and I did. And I will monetize the shit out of everyone I can. Okay, I make that very upfront, very clear. As I said at the beginning of the stream, if you come on my show, you're content. If you're in my general chat in my Discord, you're not content. And if someone tries to put you on blast, like President Sunday did, I will shut it down because you have not signed up to be content. Okay, with that said, let's bring in a couple more people and we'll get through it. You're live.
What you just said was great, though. That's a great boundary to have with your fans.
Not with fans.
You do get it.
People in general.
All
You're
right.
live. What you got?
Quick question. How does Pxie have fans?
I don't know. She fucking streams and stuff. She was on like the whatever pod. Like she's like she just talked to She didn't she talk to fucking like Pearl, like just pearly things too? Like she's
Candace Owens, just pearly things. There's a few people she's talked with.
Yeah, she gets shitted on constantly by everyone. She goes in the most red pill community and get like basically like verbally abused for like 2 to 3 hours. She doesn't get
I'm a fan
fans
of
from
Pxie.
this.
Okay. Well, I'm a fan
Oh.
of Pxie. And I guess you don't like her.
And yes, you've never seen her stream.
Okay. He's just saying that she
Like-
sucks. That's whatever. Okay. Bye.
Yeah, no, that's legit my argument. She doesn't have fans.
Okay, well-
The whole idea that like
I'm her fan.
you put forward
I'm her fan.
is that like she got
I'm
fans.
deal with it.
She doesn't.
Deal
She
with
doesn't
it.
have people
I am
who
her
like
fan.
are watching.
I'm her fan. I'm her fan. Deal with
Oh.
it. You
Okay,
lose.
so Mr.
Good-
Geek's
good day.
argument seems to be that she hasn't reached the threshold of having any sort of power, right? Where she doesn't have
Yeah,
a following.
That's not the argument he is
of course.
making. No, that's
Am I-
not.
am
the
I
That's
wrong?
literally the argument I'm making.
He's saying
But
he's,
okay.
he's saying that she sucks. He's like, have you ever watched her stream? He's just saying that she sucks. She has reached the threshold of power. She's
I
talked to
don't
like
think-
all these like she's talked to Candace Owens. She's talked to just pearly things. She's been on the whatever podcast. She's talked to
In
Destiny a shit ton of
communities that
times.
despite her.
You just think she sucks, and she doesn't. So
No, I don't. I'm a mod for her. I know her community. I know her stream. I legit like offer my services to her in the sense of like video editor.
okay.
I'm not an anti-fan or anything. I'm just like someone who knows like her stream, who knows that like she get 40 viewer average and that none of them are fans.
Okay, that's bullshit. You like okay, you're gaslighting me right now. Like she has 40 viewer hours and none of them are fans. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can have viewers without having fans.
So
You know-
nobody looks up to her and nobody has a crush on her. Like that's what you think. Like she's just repulsive and everybody
having a
hates her.
crush is not
what
being
you
a
think.
fan.
Okay.
Having a crush is not being a fan.
Okay. I disagree.
Cool.
Any
You
other
haven't
angles?
substantiated anything. You've like built this scenario where like, well, her fans and everything, but like she doesn't have any. How does like
Okay,
her
well-
appearance on shows that make like thousands of views translate to you being like 7K like on Twitter and 40 viewer average on Twitch?
Yeah, that it all translates. She's fans.
she got followers, she got viewers, she doesn't have fans. That's my point.
Okay.
Okay. I think we've at an impasse. I understand what you're saying, right? Like I
She's
tend
a
to agree
public
with you,
figure.
but
People look up to her.
I think that we're Smeth
How do you qualify as a public figure at 40 viewers? In that
You're a
case,
public
Whick
figure.
is a public figure. In that case,
Yes, of course he is a public figure. You are literally a public figure right now by being on this fucking show. There's no threshold
so
for a public
retarded.
figure. You are a figure and you put yourself in the public, like you now are acting as a public figure.
No, public
The
figure
rules are
has a
different.
meaning.
People, so you come on the show and people can comment. The people can like talk shit about you, or they can say how much they like your point, and that's how you're like. That's not the same as engaging, like Whick was saying, with some random person in chat that didn't agree to come on. Once you come on, your content and being a public figure are the same thing.
So do you think that anyone who ever walks on a stage is a public figure?
Yes, to some small degree, and that to amount that they're on here.
Come on, that's silly, Smeth. You know that's silly
No.
because these things should mean something, right? Because you're using the word public figure to imply that she has this power that I don't think she has. And I think that, like, again, as I told to Seven, as I told to you, as I told to several other people, right? Like, the idea that her simply existing and stating her preferences and saying, hey, if you meet these preferences, DM me, is somehow making her responsible for someone getting their hopes up and getting weird about it, I think is kind of, it's almost victim blaming in a way.
The fact that that is insane. The fact that is
insane. Okay, of all the things,
I don't even want to go there. Okay, I don't want to turn this into, okay. The fact that she can get on Candace Owens and talk to Just Pearly Things and get on the Water podcast and talk to Destiny means she had power, period. She is a
what
public
are the
figure.
Requirements?
People look up to her. She is also very attractive. So people look up to her. She has power. She has influence. And
what are the requirements to go on this show?
I don't know. Usually,
do you think that would be a good thing to know before saying that this is power?
No. Okay. The type of the type of currency that is used that enables you to get on shows like that is referred to as intangibles, because it isn't. You can't describe it as money, and you can't describe it like it's your networking, and it is who you know and your connections. It is intangible, and she has like significant intangible power in that way.
Okay, so could you go on these shows? Like, I don't understand.
It'd be hard. It would be a lot harder for me to do it than Pxie.
Why?
For one, I'm not an attractive girl. And for two, I'm not connected to Just Pearly Things. I'm not connected to Destiny. I mean, not in any healthy way. And so like that, like, yeah, that's why. So yeah, connections, networking, like, yeah. I don't think you know shit about how any of this works.
Because you do.
Yeah, more than you.
Yeah. You learned that from Misaga.
I don't know what you just said.
You learned that from Mr. Girl? Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in this guy. I think he's an asshole.
Okay, Mr. G, thanks for calling in. And we're
All right, take care.
I think we got 2 more for you, and then we'll call it a day. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Doing okay? Checking in.
Yeah.
Had some on your side, some on my side, right? Not been one-sided, right?
Yeah, but the ones on your side seem to have no real significant points. They're just like toxic assholes.
But the ones on your side are based.
They actually have points. They
Okay.
they have reasonable. Yeah.
Okay, let's bring on the next contestant. What you got? You're live, Kilo.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
I can.
Yeah.
What's up?
Hell yeah, I'm on my phone. If the audio is bad, then I apologize. But I'll be quick. Wick, I thought you guys kind of like delved into it a little bit at one point where you were going over examples of these types of relationships that have power imbalances that you do consider to be toxic. So I was talking in your chat about this, and I actually think that you're not as far from Smeth as you seem to think you are. I think that the key difference between, and I'm probably putting words in both your guys' mouths by saying this, but I think the key difference between your perspectives is that, Wick, you don't consider a relationship to be harmful until it is actually practically or materially harmful. Whereas like Smeth would more consider relationships to be harmful if it has high propensity for harm. And he's not, I don't think Smith is necessarily saying like Pxie shouldn't do this or she shouldn't be allowed to, just that it's probably a little bit irresponsible.
Can I ask you? Do you think that again, a woman or a man putting out their list of their requirements and saying contact me if you're interested in me and you fit these requirements, do you think that that creates more potential for harm in a relationship than other forms of getting relationships? And why?
So I do think that, and I think primarily, so I think if you were going to say that her Twitter and the people who she'd be fielding these responses from are not primarily like fans, or at least people who are aware of who she is, I think that's probably not true. I think like she's essentially combing her fan base.
Yeah, I mean they know she exists, they follow her, right? But I think that
right.
Like calling them fans is a step too far. I think that when I say someone is a fan, it's different than someone follows me. Not all of my followers are a fan. I have very few fans compared to followers. In fact, I think most people do. I think most people have people who follow them, sometimes engage with their content, like their content even, but I wouldn't consider that a fan. What I would consider a fan is someone who's there every day, right? Like the diehards, the fanatics.
Okay, Wick,
which is a fan.
But you put out
fanatic.
You put out
right?
You put out your feelers. You put out a list of your dating preferences. You say, "Hey, ladies, I'm looking fairly aggressively. Why don't you hit my inbox and tell me if you meet this criteria? And if you do, then we can talk about it."
Would that be
who do you
toxic?
Wait, no. Who do you think are the primary people that are going to respond to you putting that out there?
The people who see it and are interested.
No, it's going to be mainly your fans. It's going to be people who are interested in talking to you and getting to know you because they're a fan of you.
Want to have a romantic relationship with the person they're fans with?
No, but the people who respond do.
Yes, that's true. If you
primarily the people who
want a romantic relationship, I think that's fine. But how is that different than someone doing it on Tinder?
Because on Tinder, she's not necessarily combing her fan base for a romantic relationship. And I think on Twitter, where people follow her and know who she is, that is what she's doing.
I just disagree. I think that like this idea that her putting it out on a public platform, Twitter, is different because their fans are likely to see it. Let me ask you this: imagining harms that don't exist and kind of conjuring them into existence. No. Slight potential, right? I just don't think the potential is enough to be an issue.
Briefly, I'm not conjuring anything. Let me ask you something. Do you think that if someone who is which I'm not, let's stress test it. Do you think it would be problematic for Angelina Jolie to put out feelers and specifically say, like, would it be a problem for her to find a fan to date?
If she went on her public Twitter, Instagram, or whatever and said, "Hey, I'm single. Here's a list of my requirements. DM me if you're interested," I don't think that's toxic enough.
Okay, if it wound up being a fan, like if someone who was a fan of hers specifically went out of their way to date her, is that problematic to you?
I'm gonna reconnect.
You're roboting, buddy. What's going on? But to answer your question, no, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong.
You don't think there's anything inherently wrong with someone high profile or public dating a fan of theirs?
No, why would there be?
Oh, okay, because so there's two concrete reasons, and I might be missing more of them. I think one is probably because the person who is so this is kind of what happens with like cults and getting like indoctrinated by people. You have an idea of what that person is like, and that's the thing that you're attracted to. So you don't enter into that relationship kind of like sound, mind that you're just attracted to another person. You're entering into that relationship being romantically attached to the idea that you've come up with of what that person's like and the things they represent to
this
you.
to you, but this is how every human interaction and relationships. This is why so many people have problems in relationships, because they get an idealized version of what they think that their partner is. This happens with zero power dynamics, with lots of power dynamics. This just happens. I don't think it is any more or less likely that this particular problem would arise between a fan or a non-fan. I think that this is just
So do you think that a fan already has a power dynamic?
regardless. Again, but not. We are acting as if all power dynamics are the same. There's a different. We call it the same thing. We use the same term of power dynamic between me and my boss, and a parent and a child, but they're not the same, right?
Right.
We use it for ease of communication, but they are not the same relationship. Just like
We're not
a boss.
suggestive of the same.
But you were trying
Yeah.
to what Smeth is doing, and what it seems like you are doing, is you were conflating these things as like we would see this power dynamic as harmful between a boss and an employee, and therefore, since there's a power dynamic between a fan and a content creator, it must also be harmful. And I reject that, because again, there are different. We use the same word, but there are different things at play, right?
How? How
Well,
are they
your
different?
boss has direct impact over your financial situation, whereas your content creator does not.
Yeah, so that's
Okay.
a different. It's a different
So
category.
your fan. So the one that is very, very different from anything going on here is the one you've introduced that has nothing to do with anything we're saying. The boss. That is very different to the point where it's not worth like using that one. But with your fan, someone who looks up to you, thinks very highly of you, that is the thing we're talking about, because you're saying the example that you were talking about was somebody who looks up to you and thinks very highly of you. Okay, so your fan already has that, the exact, not different, the exact power dynamic that you are talking about already exists in your fan. It is not different.
That's not true at all. That's not true at all. And I'll tell you why, right? Because again, you can have an idealized view of someone without necessarily even wanting a relationship with that person or wanting to be sexual with that person. You are saying that these things are synonymous, and they're not.
I'm not. I don't
sure.
necessarily...
You can have an idealized version of somebody without wanting to date them. Yes.
Yes. And even if you do have that, it doesn't necessarily cause harm at all. And it doesn't, like $5 from the trib to say dating is to figure out if you're compatible. It doesn't work the other way around. Pxie's at step 1, scouting. Once dating starts, they'll see. That's it, right? Like, again, what is the difference between someone who puts it out, like a content creator, Angelina Jolie, doing this? Like, I'm asking Kilo, because I know your answer, Smeth. Kilo, if Angelina Jolie did this, you would say it's toxic. Just to be clear, you would say if she put a list of dating requirements and say contact me, DM me, you would say that's toxic?
I think it's so that's what I opened up the call by saying. I don't think it's inherently
You think
harmful.
it has a higher potential for toxicity?
I think the propensity for toxicity is too high for us to consider it responsible to participate in.
Okay. So what would be the difference, or why would it be less potential if, because we all know who Angelina Jolie is, like it's almost like certainly, even if she's not going to find someone who doesn't know who she is, right?
Yeah.
Fan or not. If she dates someone, a rando, right, that she meets in the coffee shop or the bookstore, and she starts up a relationship with them, goes on several dates, and then said, hey, it's not working out. This person, over the course of those several dates, is highly likely to have built up in their mind a picture of Angelina Jolie that is probably not true. Do you think that's true or not?
Go on, it becomes a little bit more and more true. I think you have that. That's what a parasocial relationship is when you have an impression or like an attachment to somebody that you literally do not know.
Well, that it's one way. right? You can
that is both. Yeah.
right, but
Yes.
again,
So the thing you're describing
what
is the
she's
exact
asking
opposite of
in
that,
this
where both
case,
of you do know each
what
other.
she's asking
What's
in
that?
this case is to make it no longer a parasocial thing, not just one way. That's what she's
Except
putting out.
people are
Pxie in general is
are
saying,
going.
hey,
Yeah.
I want you to contact me directly, and we will contact and talk one-on-one and go out on dates. I'm assuming maybe if you pass that kind of gatekeep, that is just dating. That's just relationships, and this happens whether someone is a content creator and a fan, whether someone is just a normie on the street and another normie on the street. Like in any situation, this dynamic doesn't change. And I think that again, you are asserting that it's potentially more problematic when a big person with a lot of followers does it to a person with a little followers. But I'm saying that only if you add in other things, only if you add in them asking them to like pay for play, or become a tier 3 sub or something, right? Like, or join my Discord or something like that, right? That's when that crosses the line. But it isn't just inherently bad. It crosses no lines when you are simply saying, hey, this is what I want. DM me. Let's go.
Yeah, so I disagree, but I feel like we're just looping and saying the same thing, because
Sure.
like I do think I'll let you go, but I do think that the key distinction between like the way that I'm perceiving this and the way that you are is, it's like the example that I used earlier was like, so it's unethical and it is against the code of ethics for like a therapist to date their patient, because
That's true.
the propensity for harm or toxicity or whatever is far too great. It's probably near 100%, and it's not in the best interest of. It doesn't have the it interferes with the ability of the therapist to provide the greatest benefit professionally
But
to their patient, right?
Why does the therapist in this situation have the power to harm the individual? Is it because there's like, what about that power dynamic gives them that power?
Well, this is a little bit different than the one we're talking about, because there's a professional component where the therapist is being.
Right?
I'm saying it's so, and part of the reason why I'm bringing it up is because that is on this scale that we're talking about, where the propensity for harm is almost near 100%. And I think that this one, the propensity of harm is high enough for someone like Smeth, who's saying that it's probably just a little bit irresponsible. And again, that's me putting words in his mouth, but
Sure.
I think that that's not a terrible take. You know what I mean?
I think it is. I think that, again, to view the content creator as in the same role as a therapist just shows a fundamental misunderstanding of the dynamic that exists.
I just said that's not what I think. I just said that's not what I think.
But you say that's not what I think, but the harm's the same.
No, I didn't say the harm was the same. I said the potential for harm.
And we can rewind the tape back. You said that they exist in the same scope, same spectrum.
Yeah,
it's area, and I just fundamentally disagree.
They exist on the spectrum of somebody not being able to make sound choices on their own because of coercive forces of like power imbalances and stuff like that. They're of a different category of that, but they're on the same spectrum.
I fundamentally disagree that being a fan of someone makes you unable to make decisions.
All right.
Okay, Kilo,
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yes. The thing that you are disagreeing, like, so saying that you think that being a fan of someone doesn't it doesn't matter, they can always make their own decision. You're completely ignoring the power dynamic that exists where fans think highly of the people that they are fans of, and that influences their decisions, because it's called an influencer for a reason.
Not to any degree that is any different than because you realize that we exert influence by existing in the space.
So you don't think that influencers have more influence than? So you think that influencers do not have more influence than people who are not influencers?
I think
Everybody's just the same.
They have more people that they influence, but the influence in and of itself is no different than me being with you, and because I wear a snazzy collared shirt.
But I'm not a fan of you. No, it's different. I'm not. I mean, I'm a fan of you, but I'm like also like a colleague. It's different. Like, if the influence that you have on me is not the same as the influence that you have on people in your chat.
I think I have I think I have less influence over the people in my chat than I have of you. To be very clear.
That's different. But it's different. It's different though.
Yeah, it's this thing, right? Like, we call them influencers because they have a lot of reach, not a lot of potential power. Everyone is an influencer in the sense that we all exert influences on those around us, right? Anyone I am around, I am influencing for good or ill, just by existing, just by being there, right? If they acknowledge my existence, if they observe me in any way, I have influenced them in one way or another, whether I intend to influence them or not. And what we call influencers just do this with thousands to millions of people, right? But again, like, to say that influence is necessarily going to be a problem means that it still exists as a problem when I'm in a one-on-one situation. I just fundamentally reject that. Smeth, I don't want to keep you too long. I know you've been here. But it is 8 o'clock. And we are probably going to end the stream. Do you have any final words? I'll give you the final word on this if you want. Final thought? Go ahead.
I think that, yeah, everybody's an influencer, but I think influencers are more influencers than others, and they have, fans and people that look up to them, and that, like, being a public figure influencer, that's not the same relationship you have to your fans as to any random person. It's just not the same.
Gang, if you like this content, that like button, that subscribe button. I'm influencing you right now. I'm pushing my power dynamics upon you to sub to my channel. Okay, do it, or you aren't, or you will earn my displeasure. Tomorrow we're gonna be covering the Republican primary debates. Tune in for that. It's gonna be a little later than normal. I believe the debates are at 9, maybe 8 Eastern. I'll make a tweet about it. Check it out. Thursday we're gonna have Dev, Short Fat Otaku. And we're also going to have Karl Max on, and they're going to be debating free speech. Should be fun. Tune in 6 p.m. Fargo Lefty, thanks for being a YouTube subscriber, a YouTube member. Thank you for that membership. We do have YouTube members. If you want to be YouTube members, tune into that. Smeth, what do you got coming up on your own stuff? Where can people find you if they want to find you?
Real Smeth on YouTube, and I've got a video that I'm working on about my experience with narcissistic abuse, and it's pretty good.
Check it out if you want, gang. And well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
And that's it for now.
Okay, who we raiding now, gang? Who we going to? Who's streaming?
All right. Nice talking to you. Nice talking to you.
It was always a pleasure. We disagree, but I still love you, Smith. Who we going to? Where are we going? Who's streaming? Who we raiding now, gang? I know he didn't say it back. That's terrible. I just it's wild to me how people turn things into a problem that are just fundamentally human nature. Now, to be fair, it's okay to ask if there is a problem. Like, there might be a problem here. Let's observe. Let's look. Let's discuss. Let's analyze, and let's see. But I think we've done that. I think that we've done that for several angles. I remain unconvinced. Let's say that. I remain unconvinced. Raid Sasha Grey and start a parasocial relationship with her. That's what I'm going to do immediately. I tried to get Ayla on my stream, but I don't have enough clout to have Ayla on my stream, so that was unfortunate. Would have loved to have her. Okay, no one's really streaming that I see. I mean, I'm really important is, I guess we could go to him. Nina's streaming. Nina's small. Let's go to Nina. Tune in tomorrow, gang. I'm sure I'm going to be frustrated for different reasons tomorrow. Okay. And Nina's chat sucks. Well, make it better. Make it better. You could get Ayla. Well, if yeah, have her DM me. I did message her on Twitter, but she never responded. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.